Stop working. It's time for a lunch break. Proudly brought to you by Groove Fishing, changing the way you do tackle. Sunline, the best fishing line on the planet. And Spro, makers of the finest tackle available. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the lunch break here at the Live Well podcast, St. Patrick's Day edition. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys got your green on. And some of you guys will jump on and join me as the show gets going on. You remember back in the day, hey, if you didn't wear green, for some reason you got pinched. That's what I remember growing up. Like, I don't know who in the hell started that tradition. I'm so glad that we kind of grew out of it for some reason. Ain't nobody been pinching me here lately. Um, that's one good thing. But I hope all you guys are doing well. A little cold today. Only in Georgia can you have 80 degrees, heavy rain, tornadoes, thunderstorms, and snow. Well, not only in Georgia, it just don't happen here like that. So, Michael Temples, what's going on, buddy, on TikTok? See you guys on YouTube. Carolina Rig, Patricia, um, Jack Butler, what's going on? And of course, I see Nathan and the Corky God Coleman is in the house already. So we're going to kind of get to talking on a couple of things. Of course, we had a little event, all within the last 24 hours, Mike. I know it's crazy, right? So we're going to have a little talk because we had a fishing tournament this past weekend. The Bassmaster Classic that I know a lot of you guys paid attention to, and some of you guys might not have, and that's totally cool, totally cool. But got to go up there for spend a little time up there. Did not get to spend as much time up there as I wanted to, and I missed some of you guys. You guys were texting me. I saw a lot of you, but some of you I missed. I apologize for that. Had some things come up and had to come home. Um, yeah, Tracy Coker, they might draw back a nub. I don't know. It just that's the way it used to be, right? If you didn't wear green when I was in school, you got the hell pinched out of you. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so it was a good event. Let me tell you one thing that's funny that happened. I was walking around Friday morning up there in Knoxville and meeting some people that watched the show and some of the vendors that I knew, which is pretty cool when people come up and talk to you and all that. But I remember walking by the Missile Baits booth and I see this cat and he's staring at me and he looks familiar. And I look as I walk by, I stick my hand out. He goes, "What's up, man?" And I said, "What's going on? How are you?" He said, "Good, good." I said, "Good to see you." And I kept walking. And then I took about 6 more steps and I went, "You dumbass, Danny." And I turned directly around and it was Matt Allen with Tactical Bassin. And of course, I had to wait for people to take pictures with him. And I went back. I said, "Man, you know what? I am so sorry. The caffeine has not kicked in. How are you?" Had a great conversation with him. Got his phone number. He's going to come on the show. Said he watches the live well from time to time. That makes you feel pretty cool when somebody of that level is watching what you do. So anyway, but saw some make it up to you guys. So um, I think it's why Irish. So the comments ain't getting pulled up, but JP Vern says, I think that's why Irish are known for fighting because the pinch turned into a pinch for me many times. I hate being pinched. Yeah, I get it. Oops. All right, guys. Hey, listen, I think I'm back. I apologize for that. Looked like the internet just went out for a little bit here and popped back on. So, hey, sorry about that. It's been acting kind of crazy today. So I do apologize. I do apologize. Great TDS service that we have. They're terrible. So I don't know how much of that you guys heard, if you heard about Matt Allen or not. Um, so anyway, let's just jump in it. Welcome back, Danny. Sorry about that. Let's just jump into it. He disappeared just like the leprechauns do. All I saw was it said connection lost, and I was like, great. It's been doing that this morning, and I've been on for the last hour and a half, and it's been fine. So hopefully it will not do that again. Let's see if we can keep our conversation going. Wi-Fi is definitely messing up today. I talked to Tim McGuire. He's over there at Cedartown at work in Rome. He said that theirs was kind of going in and out today too. So I don't know what the deal is. I'm sure we might be getting hacked. But anyway, let's jump into it. Two things I want to take from the Bassmaster Classic. First of all, number one, I think what I'm taking away from it the most is this: AT&T and T-Move. um, you know, yeah. Let's see. I was pulling up his thing. That's why I knew it was wrong, because it wouldn't pull up his comment. TDS on Sparring was on fire yesterday. Eric Richards said, "Yeah, it was out yesterday for sure. Some of them storms." Hey, Danny, got practice for tuna tournament. Wish you luck. Hey, Jared, good luck, buddy. Sawyer P. Leesburg, Alabama in the house. Very cool. All right. So here's the two things I took from the Classic. We're going to push forward just in case the internet goes out again. Number one, I think a lot of people are missing something, because congratulations to Dylan Nutt for winning. Kid came in, kicked ass, did great job. That's number one. And we'll get back on that. But I think people are missing something. There's a rivalry forming, and we need it. We need it very bad in professional fishing. And it's not necessarily a rivalry between good and evil or nothing like that. But guys, again, for the next decade, we're going to be watching Trey McKinney and Easton Fothergill go at it, right? Last year, Easton won, McKinney finished second. This year, McKinney took second, Easton was fourth. And I'm just sitting there thinking, amongst all the things going on, I'm looking at this going, right there, here's your, I don't know if it's your Bill Dance versus Roland Martin kind of thing or whatever going on. But we're going to get to enjoy these two young cats fishing against each other, and add in the Fisher Anayas and the Emils and the Paul Marks and all these young cats, Tucker and Caleb and all these guys. But for the next decade, you got two hammers right there, these two young cats in Easton and Trey McKinney. And I think that's something nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about that at all. And I think that's something we should talk about, or at least pay attention to. Now, that's just one take. Here's the big thing. Here's the big thing. Do you guys know what virtue signaling is? Some of you older guys, we're having to learn all this new lexicon, right? Uh, Everybody's mad about the forward-facing situation of the Classic. I'm just mad about all the nut puns from the MC. The man waited his whole career for that. Yeah, too. I mean, listen, I don't know what your opinions are on Mercer, but he said the nut can't be cracked or whatever, like 4 times in the first minute. And then you got guys all over social media going, they nutted on him. I mean, okay, great. It's funny the first time, maybe the second time, drop it. Drop it. Okay? Just drop that part. But do you guys understand what virtue signaling is? Because we are seeing so much of it. Ron Bondi, we definitely have some young hammers in Georgia, no doubt. Trey has just been so dominant for being so young, Jared. Yeah, he is. Him and Easton ain't going nowhere. And that's what you need to watch. They need to go ahead, tackle Barn Outdoors. Yeah, for sure. They need to go ahead and form the Senior Elite Series Tour for 50 or over. And lexicon is a mighty big word for you, says Paul. It is. But I'm going to read the definition for you guys just so you understand where I'm coming from. For those of you that don't understand, to virtue signal is to publicly express opinions or sentiments intended to demonstrate one's good character or social conscience, or the moral correctness of one's position on a particular issue. Let me give you some examples. On social media, if you temporarily change your profile picture to a flag of a country or something to align and jump on the bandwagon, but you do nothing to help support that, that's virtue signaling. When you say thoughts and prayers to somebody on social media following a tragedy, but you do nothing You don't actually pray, or you actually don't do nothing to help out. You just put it to be seen, saying thoughts and prayers. That's virtue signal. All right. Sharing trending social topics, to appear ethical and all that. I'm reading this off of this. This is great. Saying I worked 80 hours a week, or I'm just so busy, to imply that you're important, morally superior to your work things. Of course, using pronouns. That's one. But this one right here, publicly praising causes, making loud public speeches or posts supporting a cause such as environmentalism while not engaging in any lifestyle changes that actually help the environment. So we are absolutely full of virtue signaling over forward facing sonar and young kids. And it's happening. Um, hey, anybody that can help Charles Britt on Juliet this weekend in the comment section, help him out right there. I don't know enough about Juliet. But anyway, so the easiest thing to do, and who is the greatest virtue signaler in all of fishing right now? And that's Uncle Randy, right? And I've gotten to the point where, and I'm not going to be making fun of Randy Blockett at all. I'm not. This is not. But we know what's coming when one of these tournaments happens, right? From him. So it's like, but I go to the comment section. Now you can be pro forward facing sonar, or you can be against forward facing sonar, and you can have a logical, intelligent discussion with somebody on the other side. We can't do that in our society anymore. If you're a Republican, you got to hate a Democrat, and vice versa. And I don't. I got plenty of Democratic friends. I vote Republican, and I got them. It's okay. We may agree to disagree on topics, but they're still my friend, and we can have intelligent discussions. You can't do that in society anymore. You're supposed to hate one way or the other. And you're seeing that in the comments. Now, granted, when you go to Randy's comment section, you know what you're going to get, right? And it's entertaining to me. But I want you to hear these comments and then think back on the weekend and all that. And explain to me how this is going to start intelligent conversations, right? Let me read a few of these to you. Tired of watching 5 minutes at staring at a screen, and then I was out. When kids with a few years of experience are winning the classic, there's no denying something is not right. Forward facing sonar is like bowling with the gutter rails up. A kid wins the classic, it's ruined. No, I'm not dropping any juice. I'm just reading some comments. It's catching, not fishing. Babysitting at daycare. I love this one. I'll bet some scopers can't even use a bait caster. This is the only way these guys can catch fish. He's talking about the Bassmaster Elite Field. Now we're getting into some of my favorite ones. I like this one. Hundreds of fishermen were not even watching because they were fishing. And I'm like, hundreds? Like hundreds? Like really, man? Hundreds? Oh, Lord. Then you had that 10,000 money comments about how it's never going to come out and all that. We're not even going to that. Boring to watch a fisherman stare at a screen. Scopers are cheating. Here's one of my personal favorites. I did not watch a second of it. Saw they were staring at screens. Let me read that again. I did not watch a second of it. Saw they were staring at screens. Guys, these are the laziest take. What is the laziest take in all of fishing? Is that if a guy does something that you don't agree with, they're cheating or they can't fish. Or if they're young, all they are gamers. It's a moral issue. No skills needed. Funny thing is, everyone who actually knows these kids talks about them in absolutely glowing terms. Exactly. And Jeff Brazil, his videos have the best comments. Now, this is from a guy who watches the live well, and I'm not going to name his name. He doesn't watch every episode, but I see him in the comment section. I don't respect any of them as an angler because they aren't real fishermen and never will be. Guys, do you see where I'm going with this? The laziest take in all of fishing is just because someone is young and they win a tournament using live scope, that they're not real anglers, that they cannot win without the technology. It is the laziest thing somebody can do. And it does not surprise me coming from Uncle Randy's cult members. Now, you may be a person that doesn't like forward facing sonar, and I will welcome that discussion and we can talk about it. But when you get into saying these kids can't fish, at that point, you're not legitimate to me. They watched enough to know they were staring at screens. It's sad. It's a sad world we live in, man, that the younger generation is getting bashed for being successful in the fishing world. There were some guys still going shallow through jigs and spinner baits. So you got both right. You had it on there. Cam says, I don't get it. It's a tool. Forward facing sonar is cheating. Then shouldn't 2D chirp, all that be considered cheating? Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the person. The Nut Brothers are dang good. They come from a good, hardworking family. I'd rather catch fish scoping than not catch anything in dead water. I get it. My point just being is that it's just so easy for all these jackwagons to say, hey, I don't respect any of them as anglers. They can't do it. They're gamers. Now, let's take this and break some of this down. First of all, let's talk about the boring watching the screens, right? Guys, I love the MPFL. And if you don't like forward facing sonar, that's the league you watch, right? I love what Fuller and them are doing. I didn't agree with it. It's well known on our channel. I didn't agree with it when they made the decision, got in a little bit of trouble about it. But I have come around to they made Fuller and the guys and Benson and all them, the brass over at the MPFL made the absolute right decision for their business. And that's what it is at the end of the day. It's a business. And I'm just going to tell you this. Patrick Walters' ass looks exactly the same on an MPFL broadcast as it does on a bass broadcast. Let me repeat that. Patrick Walters' ass looks exactly the same on an MPFL broadcast as it does on Bassmaster. You have a camera in the back of the boat. You have basically one view going on. He's either going to stare at his screen or he's going to stare at what he's throwing at. One of the two is going to happen. And once they hook the fish, it's the exact same thing. So I don't buy these guys that say, I didn't watch it. They're staring at screens. That was boring. Dude, it's kind of boring unless they're catching fish, regardless of how you watch it. I don't buy that argument. Now, some of you may disagree with me, and that's fine. That's just the way I see it. If live scope is cheating and no skill involved, then why didn't everybody catch 20 plus pounds at the Classic? True. Funny they don't talk about pilots that way when the autopilot came out. Ooh, yeah. Mike Devine, can someone explain to me the difference between watching the back of the head of someone staring at the water versus back of the head staring at the screen, which is exactly what I'm talking about. Danny's been waiting for this. Dylan's $300,000 wallet is laughing. Now, Kevin Cantrell, 100%. The laziest take is that everyone should have the same style and opinion. It's a sport dominated by technology and styles of fishing. So if it's not how you like it, then so be it. You're exactly right, Kevin Cantrell. Let's see on TikTok. The people that hate it can't do it. Scoping is harder. Then let me pull that back down. They either can't afford it or too stubborn to understand it. Justin Ramos, yes. The people that hate on it can't do it. Scoping is harder than fishing a bank. Sure, you see fish, but you still have to catch them. For sure, hooked on is it Adam? I can't. I'm sorry, I ain't got my glasses on. They got where they are without they out. It's just a tool. It doesn't catch fish. Jay Ned said. FFS is the best thing to happen. We get to watch and learn more every day. And listen, from a viewing standpoint, I like that. Now let's keep going. Now, some of you listen, you don't have to agree with me, and we can talk about it for sure. And listen, I'm still going to love you and respect you at the end of the day, unless you just give me dumb comments. Give me an educated comment on why you don't like it, and then we'll discuss it. You may change my mind, and at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree. But still, don't just say, I'm telling you what. Paul Marks Jr. can throw a bait caster. Paul Marks Jr. will kick your ass on 90. If you fished against these guys 100 times, 99 out of 100 times, they're going to beat you. you guys in the comment section. They're going to beat you. Not necessarily our comment section today, but these people that get like that. Um, let's see. You're right, Tracy Coker. It's the same ass. Pretty or not, it's still an ass. Um, let's see. The question. Let's pull up Clarence Stowers right here. Appreciate you joining me today. The question should be, in all honesty, would that kid have won the Classic if he had had to practice and fish without the scope? Here's the thing, Clarence Stowers. We don't know. That is a hypothetical. We don't know. Considering he is from that area, the answer could still be yes. We don't know. Here's the rules. Here's what he fished with. He won. If rules were changed, it goes back into, would Michael Jordan be as dominant in today's game or LeBron in Jordan's game? We don't know. He could have. He might have lost. I don't know. I'll try to get the Nut Bros on. Clayton says, I don't mean you can catch and play. They might not be eating for sure. For sure. Let's see. I got a lot of comments coming in. Robert Blesky, again, this is how I see it in true facts, that people that complain about forward facing sonar haven't been relevant in over a decade or more. I'm not saying you suck at fishing, but you suck at it. Sorry, not sorry. That's from Rob. I don't go that straight into it, but I get where you're coming from. The only thing keeping me from being a scoper is money. I can't afford it, but would love to have it. And that's okay. That's okay, John. You know what? Not everybody can. Not everybody wants it. That's fair. Not everybody can afford it right now. That's fair. That's not an argument, though, that a lot of people, not you necessarily, John G., but a lot of people take that argument and they'll blast people that got it. And then we start playing the social standing and who's got money, who don't. Hey, you know what? I'd love to have a Lamborghini or a red Porsche in my driveway. I've always wanted a red 911, from the 80s, of course, because I grew up in the 80s, with a Blaupunk stereo, T-tops, whale tail, all that stuff. I can't afford it. I'm not going to be mad at the guy that drives them up and down my road on the way to this road track we got up here in Dawsonville. I'm like, just damn, that's badass, dude. The guy's hating on Dylan that their wife's boyfriend wouldn't let them go fishing that day. Corky, listen at you. People don't realize that half the kids my age and my age started fishing without scope. Will Harkins, Brooks Anderson, other young guys that we've had on the show. I believe they didn't get scoped till they got in college. I think Brooks was that way. A lot of them went through high school. Forward facing fishing days. Forward facing just helps them catch them on the least amount of cast. You still have to understand fish behavior. At the end of the day, catching fish is what it's all about, with or without scope. Better know how to do it both if you want to succeed. Again, every old guy in the industry was once a young hammer who brought a new technique into the game. Is Dylan entering the WBE? I don't know. But my point is, it's lazy in how people take an argument if they don't agree with something. You know what I'm saying? When kids with a few years of experience are winning the Classic, there's no denying something ain't right. How old was Van Dam when he first started coming in? Wasn't he early 20s when he first started coming in? Messick says, the thing that gets me with Randy is if you hate it so much, why isn't he fishing the NPFL? If he can catch them so good without it, prove it. I think people have asked him that question. And again, I'm not jumping on Randy because you know where Randy stands, whether it's logical or not, you know where he stands. But I believe he has said work, monetary things is why he does it. I don't know. But I can tell you this. Randy put out 2 videos. Okay. He put out 2 videos. One, of course, he does this crap, and I can't stand it. The bass fishing public has had it. That's the title. That's his clickbait. That's his thumbnail. We've already done a video. I did that last time when he did that a year or two ago, and we put out a poll on the Fish North Georgia group page and basically debunked that. The bass fishing public has had it. How the hell does he know? But that video, when we was fussing where all these comments came from, has 29,000 views as of this morning. He also put out a similar video on how to throw spinner baits or something like that very same day. It's only got 3.3 thousand views. If you're making your money on YouTube and you get paid per view, and the rate of which advertisers pay YouTube to advertise on your stuff is based upon the amount of views you get, Starts to make a little bit of sense, right? What moves the needle? He's a businessman. He knows it. He knows it. He might agree with it 100%, but he also knows that if he puts a title, the bass fishing public has had it, people are going to click whether they agree with him or not. It works out that way, right? Two new messages. Let me see. Sorry. Exactly. It's only teaching us, and we get to watch so many numbers being put up. The guy still have to know how to find the fish. You can't drop the forward facing just anywhere and catch fish. Tim said, I agree with you, man. Paul Coonan. Something that doesn't get talked about enough is the amount of other info that is available to help these new anglers cut out the learning curve. 100%. And Patricia says, how about that young kid Easton throwing the old sea rig? They know how to fish, guys. But that's one comment. I mean, this one, I get tickled. And I'm just thinking, dude, some of these people want to put a comment to put a comment. That's why I was saying virtue signaling at the beginning of it. And maybe I get accused of it. Hell, I just figured out what the hell it was. And if I do it, I'm wrong. I shouldn't do it. I love this. I did not watch a second of it. Saw they were staring at screens and I was out. I didn't watch a second of it. A lot of guys in the comment section said, I did not watch it. I did not watch it. I will not watch it. Like it's a badge of honor. Who gives a shit? Who cares? It's the same mentality as somebody on a Facebook group page that says, I can't stand the direction of this group going, so I'm out of here. Why you got to announce it? Just leave. If you don't want to watch the Bassmaster Classic or Bassmaster because these young kids are coming in kicking ass, just don't watch it. If you want to watch something without forward facing sonar, I encourage you watch the MPFL. But I will tell you this: talk to the guys that fish both. Behind the scenes, talk to the guys that fish both and ask them. Ask them their opinion of it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to tell you. I've had that conversation with them. You're going to think, well, they fish in the MPFL, so it ain't got it. No, not all of them. It's because it's a fishing tournament. And they got a chance to win $100,000, and they like to fish, and they don't mind fishing with or without it. Doesn't matter. And I mean, Bassmaster took the schedule half with, half without. What more do you want? Is it cheating to watch tactical bassing? Is it cheating to watch YouTube videos about a lake you're going to visit? Exactly. No, Paul, they don't do that crap. They just show up. They're gamers. They turn on their forward facing sonar, and that's it. That's the only skill. I don't respect any of them as an angler because they aren't real fishermen and never will be. And that's from a guy that watches the live well every once in a while. He probably don't watch the lunch break. But I guarantee you, I know this guy's comments. I can picture his comments coming in on the live well. There is not an elite angler out there that would not kick this guy's ass 99.9% of the time. But he's not going to recognize him as a real angler. He has no respect for him. That's the kind of crap that divides. See what I'm saying? Is like, how about this? Here's a logical argument. Hey guys, you know what? I think the Bassmaster elites are the, X amount of the best anglers in the world. And I really would love to see them fish without it for a whole entire season and see who comes out to be the best. Then you can have that discussion. You still respect them, all that. And I could say, well, you know what? They already do half and half, but you can have a legitimate conversation at that point. You can't. People are just so in their fields or whatever. I don't know. Rob said, it's just so sad that these big influencers going at it with each other when they need to come together and embrace positivity. That's what I'm saying. We got 3 major circuits. One without, one split schedule, and one split days of. It's okay. There's something for everybody. Listen, Bass and Boozy. What's Bass and Booze? He said, okay, let me catch back up. Larry Nixon said he hates hearing the negative comments. He said he loves the technology. The people who say they can fill their live well with it, but when I invite them out to Lanier on my boat, It's not the case, right? They go silent. I get it. Better learn the technology now because what's coming out within the next few years is going to make forward facing sonar look like 2D. I watched the highlights. The Nutmaster Classic, listen at you, Jeremiah. You're throwing the puns out there, was entertaining. How about that big ass 7 pound mean mouth hybrid that was caught? Dakota E-Bear? Listen, I watched that and I watched it over and over and over again. Now, my wife was listening to me when I was watching it. She goes, "Could he say dude one more time?" But other than that, could you not see the genuine excitement in that fish that he caught? Could you not seriously feel the excitement? The emotion was there. Let me tell you what, I almost teared up watching Drew Cook because I love Drew Cook. Drew Cook is one of my favorite anglers out there. I root for Drew Cook. He's a good dude. There you go. Dakota Eber got me saying dude. On day 2 at the weigh-in, he almost choked up when he saw his family up there. And he was talking about what it meant to him. I mean, he almost like these guys feel it, man. They're not just some robots out there fishing. Like Drew, I almost teared up, man, when Drew said that. And when Dakota caught that fish, I was like, dude, dude. I mean, that was awesome. That was awesome. Rob says I fished with the NPFL with it and without it, and I can kick ass with it and without it. Doesn't matter to me. I just want to compete with the best. Alex says, is it cheating to watch the live well and ask questions about Lanier when you got a tournament coming up? Of course, you know how I feel about that. No. Bugs Bunny hangs over the side of the boat with a wire hanging in the transducer near the bottom, for sure. Wonk says, I respect forward facing sonar over that dual thread organizer. And listen, my point is you don't have to like, yeah, and again, you don't have to like forward facing sonar, and you can be against the technology, and that's totally cool. It's how you present your argument. You don't, I mean, now there is the reverse, and we've seen it kind of in social media a little bit. We've kind of seen the reverse. It goes on both sides too. It plays on both sides. I'm giving these guys a hard time, but there are some guys basically saying other guys are too old to learn how to do it. I'll be glad when these older guys. You can't do that either. You can't do that either. Derek Mills. What a name. Derek Mills, 5031 D Daddy Fishing. Take it from an older guy. Forward facing sonar is awesome and expensive. If I had 10 grand to drop on it, I would. In reality, people, it's learning to use side imaging and forward facing sonar together. Side imaging makes a huge difference. Red Crest is next. 1/3 of the hating on its way. Yeah, I know. Fish just jump into the boat when forward facing sonar beam hits. Not, says Tim McGuire. It's just part of the electronics available and another tool to better your angling skills. Hey, listen, guys, I suck with it and I suck without it. I'm an average everyday guy who loves the sport of fishing. I love to hunt. I love outdoors. I'm just like the majority of you. We are just dangerous enough to go catch fish, right? But I'm telling you what, put a forward facing sonar screen. I'm not going to Lanier and winning Scott Barnes tournaments every weekend. You still got to know what to do with it. And you still got to have some skill. You still got to be a good angler. What's up, Tony? That mean mouth was a beast, dude. It was. It was. I wish so. They did say it was a mean mouth and not a pure smallie, but regardless, what a fish! And listen, it was like I get tickled. A lot of them guys. It's a big one. It's a big one. Watch them fight. It reminds me of Kaz Anderson when I was fishing with him up on Notley, and he hooked that Becky out from under that dock. Kaz went all around that boat. He was playing that fish. He was going all around the boat. A lot of them guys did that. Tim was there at the weigh-in. Drew got emotional with the excitement and the presence of his family, friends, and fans. Dude, seriously, I about teared up watching it. Joshua Ballard. Got to go out and fish with some forward-facing sonar last week. It is the way. And again, Josh, had that comment come across this way? I went out and fished with forward-facing sonar, and I don't think it should be allowed. At that point, I would have said, okay, Let's discuss why. And then we could have had that discussion. That's my point in all this. You know, I'm for it, but I can be against it in certain situations. The NPFL, it's cool. Danny and I are semi-amateur anglers. We are. JP Vern, they call a meanmouth a hybrid. Is it like a striper white bass hybrid that cannot be reproduced? I know we have meanmouths on Lake Blue Ridge, right? I've caught them, and it is a cross between a spotted bass and a smallmouth bass. I somebody we talked about this last week. Somebody said something about you can't like largemouth can't. I don't know. One of the three cannot. One of the three situations doesn't happen. I don't know if it's largemouth via smallmouth, but I think a spot can kind of screw up everybody. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm not a biologist, but I think a spotted bass probably could screw a catfish for all I know. They could mess everything up. Justin Ramos says you can still go out on the lake and not catch fish with it. It takes time to understand it. I get it. I agree with you. It's just I just saw this certain comments. This one guy, and they were trying, and I think Todd Castledine put out a video, and I didn't watch all of it, but I think he kind of was getting to this point, although it was kind of like my ADD was kicking in, and I couldn't, or whatever it is the hell I got, and I couldn't finish the entire video because you talking about all over the place. It's kind of like the way I make love. Like my wife's like, just hey, handle your. No, I'm all over the place. I'm kidding. My wife's going to get on to me for that comment. But he was talking about other guys going fishing the day of the Classic. And this guy, hundreds of fishermen were not even watching because they were fishing. And I'm like, hundreds? Really? Hundreds? Guys, it was on Fox's main channel. It was on Fox, not FS1, FS2. Like it was on Fox on a Sunday afternoon. Now, granted, it was a little bit tape delayed. And if you watched it on YouTube, you could watch things happen faster. But if the executives at Fox Sports or at Fox put the Classic on at that time, it is carrying some weight, some relevance. It's relative, and people, they're not sticking something on people ain't going to watch. Sorry, they're not dumb like ESPN on Sundays or all the channels. And we got women's basketball on the WNBA. Who the hell's watching that? Yeah, I'm going to get in trouble from somebody for saying that. It's relevant, man. But say you don't like it and say it in a more, like it's a moral issue. Really? Like a moral issue. There are 52,000 different things that I would argue about or have a discussion with you about on morality before I ever get to forward facing sonar. No skills needed. Well, somebody said earlier, if there's no skills needed, why didn't everybody drop 20 plus? It ain't that easy. And again, the young kid argument. They didn't come up through the ranks. They didn't put in the sweat and blood. They didn't do none of this. That same guy probably was watching the 18-year-old Ronald Acuna hit a grand slam or whatever it was and cheering that on. I put out the post about the ball bats yesterday, kind of funny because back in the day we had crap bats, and now I remember when my son was coming up, dude. I remember when I was playing beer league softball, we got into the double wall DeMarinis and all that stuff that they finally outlawed, things like that. Technology happens, guys. It just happens. It's going to. Atlanta Outdoors. JPJ might be watching the WNBA from jail. Okay, so Jeremiah, how about this? Oh, well, I missed a couple of them. There's spotted bass, largemouth mixes on Clark's Hill. Okay, I didn't know that. Meanmouth can reproduce in some cases, but it's rare. It's across either a smallie and either a spot or largemouth. Don't know if there's a specific differentiation between each one. I don't know either. Now Justin said I watched it on both, and you know what, Justin, I did too. Bass University, how you doing, sir? It takes a lot of skill to use it. It does. Joshua Ballard on Facebook. It's like you said, you can have it and see them in live action, but you still have to know what they are feeding on and how they are wanting it. Just because you can see them doesn't mean that they'll bite. Lord knows I'm the king of that. And you know what's even more frustrating? I almost at certain times would rather not see them because when I throw something out, how many times do we throw something out and watch them scatter? Or how many times do we throw out, we watch them come up and go back down? Sometimes I'd rather not even know. It's kind of like, would you rather get beat 99 to nothing in a ball game, in a baseball game, or would you rather lose it in the bottom of the ninth on a home run and lose 1 to nothing? I mean, I'd rather just get especially if it's like game 7 of the World Series, I'd rather just take my ass kicking and go home than to have my heart ripped out from me in the bottom of the ninth. Speaking of which, you Tennessee fans, listen, I feel so bad for that ball player the other day. I don't feel bad for him, but he thought he hit that ball out and slammed that bat down and started beating on that chest and everything, only to get it robbed. Talking about an emotional roller coaster. I actually do feel bad for the ball player. The old timers say the shortcut's over the top of the mountain. Now, they might say that. Listen, talk about technology. I am not a mechanic. I'm not a mechanic. My father-in-law taught me some stuff. After my dad was not a mechanic, he just paid to have somebody fix the car. My father-in-law worked on him. He was a shade tree mechanic. So I know a decent, just enough to be dangerous, right? Just like my fishing. But I can rebuild a whole bunch of shit off YouTube. I'm just saying. And you guys know what I'm talking about. Hey, dishwasher's not working. Well, dishwasher on YouTube. Figure it out. It absolutely cuts a learning curve and allows a lot of us to do. We're not even talking about forward-facing sonar. We're just talking about YouTube. It helps out a lot. Technology. These kids have had this their entire life. They didn't have to go out and spend 800 hours on the lake. To me, I mean, are we really going to fuss about them? We got 3-year-olds that can work iPhones. Okay. When I was 8, I was eating dirt. You know what I'm saying? It's just a different world. It's just a different world. What would haters say if an old timer won that's also won without it? Okay, that's a good question. Would there have been the fuss? Would there have been the fuss if somebody that's an established angler won this past weekend using forward-facing sonar? Now, in all fairness, your Randy B's of the world would fuss. We know where he stands, and that's all right. But would there be such an uproar? I mean, the Dylan Nut, it's a good story. I mean, the way he got there, and listen, it was pretty cool that his brother won the college Bassmaster Classic too. Well, they don't know how to fish. They just lucked into it this weekend, I guess. Largies are less likely to breed with smallies, mainly due to geography. They tend to breed in different locations as well. Not 100% of the time, but possible. That's from some of the biologists we've interviewed. I'm not that smart. I'm glad you paid attention, Tim. Hey, give Angel Reese give Angel Reese forward facing sonar. Maybe she could hit more shots. And he says he's kidding. No, you're not. No, you're not. She got to pad them rebound stats, right? War Eagle the best. Good. It's good that we live in North Georgia. We can drive to 4 classics out of 5. Bass will never go west or to Chicago. True. It's at Hartwell next year. Tennessee doesn't recognize meanies. Per the WRD guys I spoke with, they are green or brown, largemouth spot or smallie. Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah, and a bricklayer. She is a bricklayer. She throws them like that. Tony says, I don't mind someone hating it. What I do mind is the hate they spew towards the people using it. And that's kind of what I'm talking about today. That's kind of my point of what I'm saying is like, can't we just open up social media and say, hey, you know what? The kid kicked butt in a tournament using the legal stuff there. Don't insult them. Say you don't like the technology is fine. Don't insult the people using them. These kids are just paying more attention trip fishing. Yeah. Didn't see any bass caught on a buzz bait. I think there were some, though. I think some guys were talking about throwing a buzz bait up there. Patricia, you might not have seen it on the TV, but I've seen it where guys were catching some on buzz baits or talking about catching them. Atlanta Outdoor says those type of people overlook details to fit their own narrative. JP Vern, you guys are great in the comment section today. Keep them coming. So, if seeing them on forward facing sonar is cheating, what do you call bed fishing? Seeing them does not always mean catching them. We've had that argument, and you can have an argument pro or against bed fishing. Again, one of my favorite anglers, Drew Cook, is known for sight fishing. He can scope like hell too. The guys can do it. They're well rounded. A lot of people can't deal with the fact that all their old heroes' time has passed, and now young kids they've never heard of are winning. Forward facing sonar is just easy to blame it on. And you know what? Sometimes, Jeremiah, we can be guilty of that in a lot of other things in life, right? You guys know I'm a Eddie Van Halen / I'm a Van Halen fan. Nobody will ever play guitar better in my mind. In my opinion, he's the best that's ever lived. I like him more than him. But I've been guilty of not listening to some newer guys because I'm like, they're not Eddie. So I'm guilty of that to a point. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. Angel Reese looks like a Men in Black alien character. Good Lord, Rob. I didn't read that before I said it. Now, Sophie Cunningham and Lexi Hull are dimes. In the interest of not getting in trouble with my wife, I will just take that comment and go to the next one, if you know what I mean. Purse fishing. How about that video of Trey putting the gap on everybody? That bass cat is fast. Hey, listen. Now, if you haven't seen that video, he's hammered down, is he not? He is hammered down. And it is flying. If you don't, Tritt says, if you don't like it, get the rules changed. Do something instead of whining about someone who did it playing by the damn rules. Again, Moist Donut. What's up, James Weber? Moist Donut. Still one of my top 10 of all time YouTube screen names. Oh, Moist Donut. I feel weird just saying the word moist. But I love it. I remember when the fish finders came out when I was a kid, the arguments were the same as forward facing sonar. James McCarthy says that video of Trey is unbelievable. I've watched it like 100 times. Okay, here we go. 1713SD. Okay, let's read this. The A rig is banned because of its effectiveness. Forward facing sonar is more effective, but because of politics of money, it can't be banned, which is why the MLF format should be followed. Everyone gets their cake with that format. You know what? That is a reasonable statement. You can't argue against it. I mean, you can. We can discuss that. That's reasonable. In that statement, at least, you're not saying some of the things that I read earlier from the comments section. You're not saying the only way those guys can catch fish, like one guy wrote. Babysitting at daycare. How about this one? I don't know if I read this one or if I missed it. What do you guys think about this? This is a comment again. The guy who won the Classic is not a Bassmaster. Now, how the hell do you know? But that's a comment. He's not a Bassmaster. Well, what is your definition of a Bassmaster? I think you could have 1,000 different definitions of a Bassmaster. But I'm not going to sit right here today and say Dylan Nutt is not a Bassmaster. He's walking away $300,000, and he's got that trophy that 99.9% of us in the world will never even get the opportunity to fish for because we aren't that good. It hurts a little bit, but it's the truth, right? Oh, the sad part is there's probably more hate comments on these posts than on the tournament cheaters post. That could be. But listen, but 1713, you know, again, there is something for everybody, right? And you can say I like MLF better than Bass, and a lot of people do, and a lot of people don't, and a lot of people want to watch the NPFL because it's got nothing. If you don't like one, there is something for you. If a blind man had forward facing sonar, there would still be haters. I still ain't figured out why there's Braille at drive up ATMs. Just think about that for a second. Why do you have Braille at a drive-up ATM? I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said that. Wonk. Stevie Ray Vaughan was pretty good at bending those strings too. Love him. Love him. Danny, I think you would like some of Wolfgang Van Halen Mammoth's. I like Wolfgang Van Halen. It was his birthday yesterday. I love it. He's good. I can't advise on Sophie Cunningham or Haley Van. Yeah, I know you can't. Don't advise. You'll get in trouble. Now, Warrior the Best says with Forward Face and Sonar, we will have more random unknown anglers winning tournaments. Now, let's take. Okay, hold on a second. You may have more anglers winning tournaments, but now, are you telling me Dylan Nutt was unknown? He may be to you, but we've heard about Dylan. We've heard about the Nuts and Fisher and Naya and all these kids. We've heard about them for several years now. He is not an unknown. He might not have gone the route that a lot of people, do, but he's not an unknown. I can remember on Gunnersville 2 or 3, whatever it was, when Dave Aldridge had me on Gunnersville, and we're out there filming for the Real American Road Trip, and we're out there, and there's a boat out there in the middle of Gunnersville Lake by itself because it wasn't the best weather in the world to be out there. There's a boat out there by itself, and Dave goes, "That's Fisher Naya." And I said, "Who?" He goes, "That's Fisher Naya." He goes, "That kid's going to be legit. You'll be hearing a lot about him in the coming years." Out there by himself, on the water fishing, not in a tournament, putting in the time that none of these guys give these kids credit for. But he was recognized. He was not an unknown. I don't think very rarely are you seeing an unknown entity getting into the elites. I'm not saying it can't happen. I don't think it happens that often. Fishing involves walking around a lake. It can. Jeff says that bass cat ain't fast. I know. You got that one that screams. That it's fast to me. It's fast to me. James Weber said, just watched a little bit of Randy Blockett's new video. He is bitching about forward facing sonar again. I know, again, it pays the bills. Mike Geiger decided to show up. What's up, Mike? The burning season. The laziest take in bass fishing was seeing a 20-year-old sitting down at the Classic. You talking about because he was sitting? Huh? You talking about he was sitting? Tim said always, if you have to limit something, it's time to ban it. The burning season. Well, listen, that's a fair listen. Okay. That's fair. It's we can have that discussion. We can have that discussion as long as we don't get into insulting the people using it and saying that that's the only way they can catch fish. Tritt says he's competing by Bassmaster rules. That makes him a Bassmaster. I'm not sure. Emil did not have the best tournament, but you know what? Here's the thing, guys. Yeah, he didn't have the best tournament. He'll tell you that. But he was fishing the Bassmaster Classic. At that point, you're there. 6 billion people in this world, and 52, whatever it was, were fishing the Bassmaster Classic, and Emil was one of them. To me, that in and of itself is freaking amazing. But I don't remember where he finished exactly, James. The first MPFL event's coming up. And again, if you're against Forward Facing Sonar, this is the league for you. I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to be watching it for sure. I know it's off topic, but the Surge Squad were some of the nicest guys to meet at the Classic this weekend. Definitely got to shout them out. They're great guys. They are all great guys. Trent said, this is what pisses me off about the Josh Jones comment. And I kind of referenced that a little bit earlier without necessarily saying it. When Fisher won his first trophy, he walked off the stage and went straight to someone and gave him a huge hug. Anyone see who that was? Now, if you haven't seen the Josh Jones comment, he referenced it's time for guys like G-Man to get on out of there. That's basically kind of the other side of going too far. It's kind of like our politics. Like the reality is you got 10% on the far left that are the loudest. You got 10% on the far right that are the loudest. And the rest of us are just kind of in the middle. Like, what the hell are you guys fussing about? Steven Surgeon, oh my God, another forward-facing sonar conversation. Is it time to move on to something that can be helpful? Well, Steven, it's the topic. And I will say this, we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 podcasts a week. Sometimes you got to talk about what the relevance is. And actually, here's what's helpful. If you actually have paid attention to the whole thing, what's helpful is to be able to have a conversation without having to discourage or tear down the person opposite of you. So, in our society today, what would be more helpful? Talking about a sprinter bait right now, or talking about why we can't disagree with somebody without blasting them? You tell me what's more helpful to society right now. But I get it. Nobody wants to talk about this, but I mean, this is what, again, I started the whole conversation off by, I think people are missing the biggest thing. My biggest takeaway from the Bassmaster Classic is that for the next decade, Trey McKinney and Eastern Fothergill are going to be a hell of a rivalry to watch. You're going to watch them two boys go at it in a ton of tournaments. And yes, there'll be others up and down and joining them, and somebody could join that little group. But the fact that Trey McKinney and Eastern Fothergill 1-2 last year, 2-4 this year, wherever they come out in the AOY, the talent right there, that's going to be it's going to be fun because you're going to watch them two battle for a lot of tournaments. It's going to be fun to watch. To me, that's the biggest take out of the whole thing. I'm so happy for the guy. He deserved it. Rachel Collins. What you doing, Rachel? How are you today? Jeff Brazil. Oh, Josh might have stepped on his pecker with that comment. He might have. It was G-Man that he went off and hugged. Andy Anderson, the number of young high school anglers at the expo was impressive. Fisher and I was one of the most cheered for anglers at the weigh-in. Youth of the future. Yeah, he's a good kid, man. And you know what? He's a good dude. And his dad's a good dude. And a lot of you guys, some of us get to talk to some of the other players behind the scenes. Like, I text Ryan and I all the time. Like, I always like, dude, I bet you're nutted up right now. Like when Fisher was right there to win, or even with the first dual threat and all that stuff. Like, we're texting them. They're just good people. And at the end of the day, the majority of these anglers are just good dudes that can fish better than we can. I'm a fan of Fisher too. JP Vern outside. Another tournament. The AHSBA High School League has a tournament this weekend out of Gatewood on Lake Allatoona. Go show them some love if you have a chance. For sure. And Doug Rice joined in. Damn, I'm sorry I missed the show. Well, better late than never. Trent says, and now I want to race Trey. Yeah, listen, that Basscat was going. Now I know Brazil was faster, but the whole point of this whole thing is just that what is sad to see is keyboard warriors and the comments that they're willing to put. First of all, about a young kid. First of all, about the younger generation, and then secondly, about they can't have like Steven. You don't want to talk about forward facing sonar. I get it, 100%. I get it. But man, can we just talk about it? Or there's something for everybody? Can't we just do it reasonably? No matter what the topic is, there's always going to be that one or two pricks that just want to comment for the hell of it. Well, I mean, listen, I think on the live well, I think on all our shows, the vast majority of the people who comment are reasonable. And even Steve it's reasonable. Nobody wants to fuss about forward facing sonar. And it's not so much to me about it, it's about how we're fussing about it today. But I get it. It's reasonable. And I think we allow people of different viewpoints. I feel like we do. I mean, I feel like we do. I think in the history of our show, when we've been doing this podcast for 6.5, 7 years now or something like that, there's only been a time or two that I ever really lost it on somebody for just a dimwit, dumb comment, because the vast majority of people watch us. I can tell you right now we got 60 people watching. It's been a while. Not everybody agrees with forward-facing sonar, and that's okay. That's okay. We can have the discussion. Now, tonight on the live well, we got Dylan Filardo, who fished the Classic. He's going to be on. and we're going to get his viewpoint on the Classic, and again, what worked for him, what didn't work for him. We'll have that conversation, that discussion, and again, we'll get to what the fish are biting right now. Um, Danny Purdue. I just hope that these young ones feel the gratitude to be there on the big stage and not think of it as a participation trophy. I can tell you, Danny, listen, uh, I can tell you 100% that the young ones that I talk to, they appreciate it. When we talk to them about it behind the scenes, they're very grateful. They're very humble. A lot of them are very, very humble young men. We are the ones that raise these young guns for sure. Now, just agree to disagree, move on. Now, War Eagle the best. Finally went to Latham. Spots are so small at your lake, Danny. No, War Eagle, you just don't know how to catch the big ones. I love you, dude. I'm just playing with you. You got to go through them. I promise you there's some good ones there. I promise you there's some good ones there. I'm just excited to go to the mountains for some smallmouth this weekend for my birthday. Hey, listen, I got a birthday coming up next week too. I might sneak out and go to the mountains too. War Eagle the best. I promise you they aren't small on Latham. There's some big ones there. Brandon C. Myers. Hey, buddy, I saw a picture of you up at the Classic. Appreciate you joining me. People say that forward face and sonar is easy. I'd like to see them go out and do what these guys can do with it. Tired of the negative in fishing. I know, dude. Like, you know what, Brandon, like I suck with it. I suck without it. I suck with it. Okay. It makes me so mad. But what it did do is teach us that fish do things that we didn't think they were ever doing for sure. It is a good tool if you use it that way. But listen, elite angler, MLF guys, whatever, that's your top 0.00000010858% of fishing, right? I've always said Emil Wagner and Paul Marks Jr. could catch fish out of this road out here in front of the house. I ain't talking about the lake across the street. I'm talking about the road. They're amazing. They are amazing. Anthony Geis 9130. It's insane how young the most recent winners have been. And Anthony, it is. No, dude, it is. They're good. As an old fart, I've always said the best thing that I do for our live well, as far as guests, is get all these young guys up, especially the ones that haven't made it yet. Like Emil, we were talking to Emil before he ever made it, so that when they get there and they do what we expect them to do, we already got an in with them. We're already friends with them. It's proven to be a good business decision, but it is amazing because listen, 18 years old, 19, 20, 21, 22, I can tell you what I was doing at that age was not conducive to becoming a proper adult. All right. And you guys, most of you guys are like me. We know what we were doing at that age. We didn't have the drive and determination, not with fishing, that we wished as an old fart looking back. We are like, man, I wish I'd have done that. Life's about it. These guys are taking advantage of it. No cranking and yanking today. He'll be here tonight. I'm sure he'll be here tonight. Tyler Clark, 848. The negativity in this world is sickening. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch it. I deleted all social media because of the negative world we live in. And you know what, Tyler? A lot of guys are doing that. I, unfortunately, it's part of my business. I have to be on it, but I know exactly what you're talking about. Same people preaching about getting kids into fishing turn around and fuss about the forward facing sonar. And Anthony's giving me a big smile. It is incredible. Listen, I think it's crazy these guys are so good. It is crazy. Chase and tail. That's what we were all. Listen, let's be honest. We grew up at those of us that were teenagers in the 80s, in the late 80s, the decadent decade. The last thing that we had on our mind was fishing tournaments. The vast majority of us, let's just be honest, call it what it is. Thank God there were no cell phones around. There's no proof of what we did other than in our minds, right? The glory days. Now, granted, we stretch the truth a little bit. The angler does come out into us. Come out. You know what? We stretch our little crazy things we did. You know, as the story, it grows as we get older. But thank God there were no cell phones, right? All right. It was a good conversation. Like I said, if you don't agree with somebody, you ain't got to tear them down to disagree with them. Don't do your virtue signaling. Okay. Just go have a legit conversation with people. And listen, and my advice, and listen, I am not a big advice giver, but if you're going to comment on a situation, educate yourself. Do not have this guy's quote. I did not watch a second of it. Saw they were staring at screens and turned away. No, try the 70s, Danny. If you're over 50, good luck making it to a classic. Hey, listen, it is what it is. You know what? There's a pill for that, right? Listen, I just, the tearing down is not good. You don't have to like it. You don't have to like it. And some people are never going to have their minds changed. But don't just be a blind sheep. Don't be a blind sheep. Okay. Just educate yourself. And if you find you don't like it, then you don't like it. Have intelligent discussions with people on why you don't like it. Don't be Fox News against CNN. Don't be this against that, Republican against Democrat, Catholic against Protestant, or whatever. At least educate yourself so that you can have a meaningful conversation. At the end of the day, you might make a friend who disagrees with you, but ends up being a pretty cool dude. Now, Tactical Bass, and again, yeah, like I said, I talked to Matt Allen, got his number. We're going to get him on the show. Very cool dude. So with that, I'm gonna call it a show. Rick Clunn won 2 elites in his 70s. Yeah, I know. Listen, there's an outlier, right? There's always that one that ruins it for the rest of us, right? You know what I'm saying? There's always that guy like Rick Clunn that's got to prove it all wrong. Um, but anyway, all right, guys. So listen, tonight, 8 o'clock, Dylan Filardo talking tackle. Had a chick off a chick. Very cool dude. Got the fish in the classic. I think he ended up 24th. But he had a hell of a day too. But it's going to be good to come and pick his brain about the event, because when we had him on before, we knew he was going to get to fish it, and now we got him after fishing it. And so we're going to be able to get his take and see what it was all about from his perspective. And of course, guys, listen, if you want to know what the fish are biting, we'll ask him right now. He's got a shop. He knows what the hell's been going in and out of his shop, what baits are moving and what's not. It's going to be fun. Rob Robleski, I love you all and God bless. If anyone ever needs to talk to, needs anyone someone to talk to, whether it's fishing or life, give me a shout. Anything after 9 p.m., I'll hit you up the next day. That's good. Randy just came out with another video about Dylan. I ain't going to watch it. Appreciate all you guys coming on. I've met both Matt and Tim. They're really cool dudes. Hey guys, Matt Allen here. Welcome back to Tactical Bassin. Anyone else do that Matt Allen impersonation? I don't do it well, but like I just looked at him. I honestly, I thought he was what's the guy? I thought he was Fletch. For those of you know Fletch, just I don't know why. I guess it was a little beard or something. And I was walking, I wasn't paying attention. And after I shook his hand and walked by, I went, "Oh, Danny, turn your ass around." Will Wheeler win the Red Crest? Don't know. I don't know. I would say, there's probably gonna be a lot of money put on him if there's a place you can bet on it. Yeah, you guys hit that thumbs up. Appreciate all you guys stopping by. We'll be back tomorrow lunch. We'll do the lunch break again the rest of the week. But tonight, join us on the live well for Dylan, and we'll have some fun with it. And you guys, hey, listen, you're free to bring in your questions and comments, and it'll be on TikTok, Facebook, and here on YouTube and all that. So, you guys, listen, great conversation today. A lot of great comments. It makes my job easier when you guys are commenting. And like I said, at the end of the day, we don't have to agree or we can agree to disagree. I still love you guys. All right. The hate towards Dylan is very crappy. I hope everybody turns it for sure. Messick, Connell for Red Crest. I love that they have completely stayed out of the BS and stay teaching. Yeah, for sure. I just got to say, God is good. Had a little health scare. Good report. All is good. Well, Doug, I didn't even know that. You didn't let me know that. God is good. Listen, guys, again, I'm a heathen. I go to church every Sunday. But every morning when I wake up, I'm like, yeah. Like, yeah, one more day. One more day. God is good. He is good. Even when things look bad, God is good. What's happening, guys? Sorry I'm late. Hope you had a good time at the Classic. When I was there, it was fun. Hey, Danny, can you give me the information to sign up on that tournament? on April 4th. We'll talk about it tonight. I'll get all that information tonight, and we'll do it on the live well. My highlight was meeting Kevin Thornton Saturday. Father Time was up there. Hey, listen, Tom Erico says, hey, you live a little bit, go skinny dipping. Not today. The water would be warmer than the air, I can tell you that. Hey, listen, when we baptize at our church, again, the heathen talking to you again. When we baptize our church, we do it in the Edgewater River. And my pastor, bless his heart, he gets in that water with him. And he tries his best to get him to kind of, let's do our baptisms at certain times. But every once in a while, there's somebody wants to get baptized in January, and they got to go get down in that river. Woo! You talking about waking up in the spirit? That'll do it to you. All right, you guys be good. How much stuff did you guys buy at the Classic? Nothing. I hate to say it. I don't buy anything. I try to get my stuff for free. I'm cheap like that. JP Vern celebrated my 53rd birthday yesterday. I'm very proud to say God is good. Another day of good health above the dirt. I've got one on the 23rd. I think Tim Wyatt's birthday was yesterday too. March is a good month. March is a good month. 2 out of 3 of my kids had birthdays earlier this month. Mine's next week. But it is good. So yeah, any day your feet can hit the carpet, it's going to be a good day. Dylan gave thanks to God after his tournament. He's a keeper. You know what I liked what he said? Like, when it's your time, ain't nothing going to stop it. When God says it's your time, ain't nothing stopping you. That was pretty cool. Anyway, you guys be good. Don't work too hard. Listen, you better put some green on. If you see somebody with green, go pinch them and just see what happens. Because that's what happens when we were little today. So if you're going out tonight for St. Patrick's Day and all that, and you're going to go drink some green beer or do whatever it is you guys do, be careful. And come back tonight, 8 o'clock, sit down with us and Dylan. And Clint Bartlett will be on with me. And we'll just keep conversation going. So wear dress pants when skinny dipping. I ain't doing that. June was a better month for our fathers. You know what's funny? My dad was born in June. There you go. But y'all guys be good. I'll see you tonight at 8. Don't work